Well, I too was an Austin Conradi student, and whenever I did really well in my lessons, he would give me a piece of marzipan. So I developed a very, I like marzipan still to this day. I was a married student at the time, and Muna, who just talked to us, was also a married student. And I had a baby daughter who had to endure 7 hours of practicing every Sunday afternoon. I'd put her in the playpen, and she was really very good about it. She doesn't remember that anymore, though. I taught piano privately for about 30 years, and then 32 years ago, I got the opportunity to learn to be a music therapist. And this has been my real love. This is what I was born for. So I've been working at the Augsburg Lutheran Home for 32 years now. And they think I'm about 20 years younger than I am. I hope they keep continuing to think that way. But anyway, I put in my notes that I like to travel a lot. My husband and I have traveled extensively. And I remember one time in Santiago, Chile, I was on a 26-day South America tour, and part of it was on the Holland-America line. And I played the piano in the lounge every day. So, of course, in Santiago, I wanted to play in their lounge also. To get permission was pretty difficult, but once I got the permission, I had it made. This one particular time, I was alternating between classical music and church music, difficult pieces. And this one time I played an arrangement that ended up with "Praise God from whom all blessings flow." And when I finished, everybody stood up and cheered. And I was astounded because I didn't think anybody was even paying attention to me. And another time in Hoorn, Holland, I was on a river ship cruise on the Danube River, and we stopped in Hoorn, Holland, and everybody on the ship went to this organ concert in this beautiful church in Hoorn that had a newly restored organ. And I asked if I could watch the organist, and I said, "I am an organist," and they said, "Oh, you are an organist, go up and talk to the organist." And I went up there, and he said, "Well, how long do you want to play?" And I was really amazed. And I always carry music with me, just in case. And so I said, "Well, I would like to play these things." And I showed him, and I said, "I would appreciate if you would set up the registrations, because I've never seen this organ before." And so he set up the registrations, and I was just able to sit down and just play, you know, and my tour group was really astounded. And they thought I was still up there when the organist played "My Country 'Tis of Thee" and the Star-Spangled Banner, but he was accustomed to doing this whenever American tourists were present, so he did this all the time. But the group didn't know this. They thought I was doing it. And when he started, they all stood up and put their hands over their hearts and sang their hearts out. And I was upstairs videoing it from the balcony. And this is one of my favorite videos. And he said that is the first time that had ever happened, that people stood up and sang. So that was kind of neat. And there is one more little story. She said to make it brief. Well, I have about 1,000 stories at least. But anyway, I was the chorister for Mu Phi Epsilon for several years, which meant that I had to call up these patrons and ask if we could have musicales in their houses. And I had to arrange one of these for every week. And so for every month, once a month. And at this one occasion, Peter Menon was the new director of the Peabody Institute, and he was only here very briefly. I think he followed Reginald Stewart as a director. And he sat next to me, and everybody thought I was his wife, and I was so thrilled have people think I was the wife of the director of the prestigious Peabody Institute. So that's the end of my stories. I'll have to come again next year.